macOS Tahoe is the end of the line for Intel Macs. YouTube now allows more harmful misinformation on its platform. And Nintendo delayed the Legend of Zelda movie. It's Tuesday, June 10th, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. And of course, Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference kicked off yesterday. You can check out Engadget.com for all the announcements from yesterday's action and what's happening on day 2 of the 5-day conference. Take a look at Will Shanklin's article about Apple's walled garden being the iPad's biggest roadblock to becoming a Mac, or read why Anna Washenko says that every WWDC should end with a song composed of app reviews. Seriously, even if you're not an Apple person, give Alan Stone's 6 out of 5 stars a watch and listen. But one of the other things that came out on day 1, senior writer Sam Chapman wrote about a follow-up meeting that will herald the end of an era. macOS 26, also known as macOS Tahoe, will be the last version of the operating system to work on Macs powered by Intel processors. Tahoe supporting Intel Macs will get full access to all the new features, and they'll still get security updates for the next 3 years. But by 2028, they'll be out of the Apple ecosystem. The first Apple Silicon processor launched in 2020, and since then, Apple has run all its hardware on its own Apple Silicon microchips, which are significantly more powerful than the Intel chips it had been using for most of the millennium. Apple Silicon's ARM-based architecture can perform more operations and use less battery power than the x86-based Intel processors. Many Intel-powered Macs have already aged out of updates, but yesterday's update put an expiration date on the last survivors. The announcement, which came during a platform State of the Union following the main WWDC event, was aimed primarily at app developers. Apple is encouraging developers to plan for the post-Intel era and ensure the migration is as smooth as possible for themselves and their users. Both macOS 26 and the planned next version, macOS 27, will include the Rosetta translation process, which helps apps build for x86 run on ARM. After 27, Rosetta will remain in place to support legacy video games. Intel-powered Macs that will support Tahoe include the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, the 2020 13-inch MacBook Pro, the 2020 27-inch iMac, and the 2019 Mac Pro. YouTube is following in the potentially dangerous steps of Meta and X by relaxing its content moderation policies. New internal training materials viewed by the New York Times instruct moderators to leave videos live if up to half its content violated YouTube's policy, an increase from a quarter of it. The platform introduced the new policy in mid-December, a month after President Trump was reelected. The new guidelines reflect what YouTube deems as public interest. Now, these areas include discussing or debating elections, movements, race, gender, immigration, and more. Nicole Bell, a YouTube spokesperson, told the New York Times, recognizing that the definition of public interest is always evolving, we update our guidance for these exceptions to reflect the new types of discussion we see on the platform today. When Engadget reached out to YouTube, Bell shared more context on the decision, saying, "We regularly update our community guidelines to adapt to the content we see on YouTube." Now, there is a whole lot more to Bell's statement, and you can read it in full with this article at Engadget.com. Now, the platform has reportedly removed 22% more videos due to hateful and abusive content than last year. It's not clear how many videos were reported or would have been removed under the previous guidelines. YouTube reportedly told moderators to now value keeping content up if it's a debate between freedom of expression and risk. For example, they were shown a video called RFK Jr. delivers sledgehammer blows to gene-altering jabs, which falsely stated that COVID vaccines can change people's genes. However, YouTube told the moderators that public interest outweighs the harm risk and the video should stay up. It has since been removed, though the reason why is unclear. Other videos allowed to remain online included one with a slur aimed at a transgender person, and one in which a commentator discussed a graphic demise for former South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. Well, you will have to wait a little bit longer for the Legend of Zelda movie. Nintendo said on Monday that the film's new release date is May 7th of 2027. That's 6 weeks later than the slot it announced earlier this year. The company attributed the rescheduling to production delays. Nintendo's announcement post read, "For production reasons, we are changing the release date of the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda to May 7th. It will be some weeks later than the release timing we originally announced, and we will take the extra time to make the film as good as it can be. Thank you for your patience." We don't know much about the movie yet. Its director, Wes Ball, and its screenwriter, T.S. Nolan, are both known for the Maze Runner trilogy. Ball also worked on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the fourth installment in the modern reboots. In 2023, Ball suggested that the film could have an anime influence and described it as this awesome fantasy adventure movie. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Sam Chapman, Sarah Fielding, and Will Shanklin, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer by me, Steve White. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.